CNET calls the iPad mini the Sasquatch of the gadget world because nobody really knows if it exists. However, Apple is hosting a media event next week, and the company is expected to show off a smaller version of the iPad tablet. CNET editor-at-large Brian Cooley is here with us this morning. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, guys.
It's kind of the worst-kept secret in Appledom.
As usual.
You know?
As usual. Yeah, Apple's secrets are leaky these days.
So what do we expect from this meeting next week?
We expect them to roll out this iPad mini that is going to be smaller, but most importantly, cheaper. That's really what consumers are responding to. Over the course of this year, we're expecting tablet sales overall to go up about 60%, very healthy. But within that, the smaller 7-inch tablet sales are going up about 100%. Consumers are veering that way. And to give you an example why, let me just take a 7-inch tablet out of my pocket. You couldn't do this with a full-size iPad. This is a competing Google tablet, but just to give you an idea of what a 7-inch tablet feels like in your hand. Smaller, lighter, and the key here, guys, is cheaper. Because a lot of people look at the current iPad at $500 to $830 and say, that's not a tablet, that's a commitment. And that's more than I can afford.
You're carrying this around, though, now.
I've gone to the 7-inch tablet lately. I've got them both. You know, my business, you tend to have a lot of devices around, but I'm not carrying the full iPad as much. I'm using it as the TV room device, as the reader upstairs for reasons I don't even understand. But I like this guy whenever I travel and when I take it to work.
So what you're saying is size matters.
Size totally matters. And in this category, it's about getting smaller because consumers want to spend less, they want to lug less, and they want to feel like they're getting all that they need without getting too much.
So is it just a reduction in size, or are there going to be new features? Is it faster, anything like that?
That's the key angle here, is what are they going to do to make it different? Because imagine if Apple comes along with something that does exactly what that does. That's a follow-on effort. They don't want to look like followers.
Right.
That reputation does not go down that alley. So they've got to have something unique and new in it, and I don't have a good handle on what that would be because you've got to keep the cost contained. Additional features often raise the price.
Do we think of Apple as usually being ahead or sort of breaking a category?
They usually break categories in terms of getting them mainstreamed. Right. They were not first in smartphones. They were not first in MP3 players. They were not first in many other areas, but they're first at making them really acceptable. That's their key.
And is there a concern at all that people will stop buying the bigger iPads to get this smaller version?
I think that was a reason that Steve Jobs poo-pooed this idea of a smaller iPad late in his life. Because they wanted to be careful about demand for the big iPad getting injured. And now they're coming in to backfill where the consumer already says, we need it.
Brian Cooley, thanks.
Thank you.
It's the Rolling